Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to A.O.S Group. And on this channel, we talk about everything related to language studies. If you are currently um, working on learning the which particular language now, be it French, German, Spanish, or even Chinese, or if you are currently trying to perfect your English language, we also assist with that. Likewise, if you are working on your exam preparations like IELTS, like TOEFL, like TEF Canada or TCF, we can also prepare you for that exam. Lastly, if you are currently working on any program related to Canada immigration or visa applications, we can definitely assist you to get that. Now, that now takes us to what we have for today. If you have been following us for quite some time now, you would notice that every day by 3 p.m. West African time and 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we always respond to questions that we got from attendees of our JAPA to Canada in 2023 Q&A session. And today is not going to be different. We are going to be answering the question 364, and the question goes thus. It asks that what can one do if he wants to go for a graduate school in Canada and remain there permanently after graduation? It was asked by Albert Blibo from Ghana. And as I said, it's all these questions are always extracted from our JAPA to Canada in 2023 webinar Q&As. Now, this is a typical question for international students, intending immigrants who want to relocate to Canada for the sole purpose of permanent residency. However, they want to go through the study permit route. And yes, this is one sure way I would state that a lot of people have been going to Canada with. In fact, it is one of the ways that a lot of people have used to become permanent residents in the previous years. And I would state that even though it is a route that I would say more or less guarantees your permanent residency afterwards, you have to be very careful to not state that you are going to actually stay there. That means to stay back in Canada after your graduate school, because the hopes of the Canadian government is that as soon as you are done with your postgraduate degree or your postgraduate diploma, you should come back to your own country. So don't state it while you are applying that you want to stay back, because it is one ground that would get your visa to become easily rejected. But if you really want to stay back, there are still some on the ground plans you can actually make in order to make that happen. And the first plan would be based on the program and the school you want to apply for. There are certain programs and schools that are recognized by the Canadian government or the provincial government for immigration purposes. And definitely, some of these programs and schools are always designated by the Canadian government as what they know or what they term as um, postgraduate work permit program. You understand? It's not all the schools, it's not all schools in Canada that are given the eligibility criteria to become schools that can give postgraduate work permit. You understand? But these certain schools that allow the PGWP, the postgraduate work permit, allows international graduates to work in Canada for up to 3 years, even after completing their studies. And such graduates who work in Canada within that 3 years, or even at least within just a year, will be able to sign up for the postgraduate work permit. You understand? And may be eligible to also even apply for permanent residency after at least 1 year of working. You understand, through any of the Canadian economic immigration programs. So that's the first criteria or the first plan you need to do. You need to choose a program, and you need to choose a school that is under the DLI, the Designated Learning Institute, and a school that allows or that is eligible for postgraduate work permit. So that's the very first step. The second step you need to take if you want to retain your status in Canada even after your study is that you need to explore the immigration programs that are available. It's not all immigration programs that you can become eligible for. It's not everything that would allow you to stay back in the country. So you need to look at, for instance, Canadian Experience Class Program, which is the program for international students, temporary work permits, or workers who are in Canada already on a temporary residency visa and want to actually shift from that temporary residency to permanent residency. You can check the Federal Skilled Worker Program too. You may become eligible for that, or even the Provincial Nominee Program, the PNP program. Just take note that each of the programs will have their own criteria, you understand, for eligibility. So it's very important for you to research the one that you are eligible for in order to pursue it. All right. So, and if you want to also retain your studentship, or you want to retain your status in Canada even after your studentship, you can always apply for open work permit or employer specific work permit. So you could get a job offer at the very first thing. Getting a job offer is very important before you can get a work permit. You can't get a work permit without having a valid job offer, and that would definitely increase your chances of staying back in Canada even after graduation, because once Canadian employers note that yes, you are eligible to get their jobs, they can even tend to sponsor you. You are the international worker. They can sponsor you for immigration purposes while you are still in Canada, in order for you to actually pursue your job opportunities in your own field in Canada. So another way you can use to retain your status in Canada even after graduation is by improving your language skills. People don't always talk about this quite often. And I will tell you right now that IELTS, TEF Canada, TCF Canada, even though it is not important for you to go to Canada through the study route or the work permit route, it is expedient, it is important, it is necessary for you to actually write one of those exams before you move from temporary residency or temporary status to permanent residency status. Without you having any of those test results, you can't change easily to permanent residency. So that tells you that you have to improve your proficiency in English or in French, because it's a major factor to immigration process. And it is very important to improve your language skills in order to become, you understand, much more eligible for those programs we talked about earlier. And another thing you can do in order to better your chances to stay back in Canada is to research funding options. As a graduate from Canada, it may be expensive. You could have spent a lot to actually graduate and to get degrees or diplomas from, you understand, Canadian institutions, Canadian universities and colleges. But after that, you could get opportunities to apply for scholarships, to apply for grants, bursaries that would help to cover the tuition expense if you are still schooling, because we have had situations of people maybe taking 1 year course first in Canada, and after that taking another 2 year or 3 year course after that 1 year course. So you may be able to get scholarships or grants. It may not be from Canada government themselves, it may be from all other organizations. You may look at that, or living expenses. You may actually get living expenses funded by some other programs or funded by some other organizations out there. Now, the last thing you need to do is, for instance, if you still want to study more and you want to retain your studentship in Canada, you can apply for study permits. You understand? We have had situations, just like I said, people apply for 2 or more study permits. You understand? After one has actually expired. So international students can obtain additional study permits. You understand? They can actually, the application could take about several weeks or months to finalize, but you have to plan it in advance if you want to really start up another academic program in Canada, in order for you to, you understand, stay back in Canada after your graduate program. For instance, some of you may take diplomas, maybe postgraduate diplomas, and want to, after doing that diploma, sign up for masters. It's possible. You may want to, okay, maybe you have signed up for masters and you want to sign up for PhD now. You can actually do that to retain your studentship in Canada. So the crux of the thing is for you to always plan ahead. Do you understand? Plan ahead, make your researches for all the options that are available to you in order to achieve your goal of staying back in Canada after graduation, and make sure you follow through legally and diligently, you understand, for it. So if you want further details, you can always contact us on our website, aosacademy.com. You can send us emails on admin@aosacademy.com, or even chat us up on any of our social media or any of our WhatsApp numbers, the Nigerian one or the Canadian one. So if you have not considered subscribing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit on the notification bell to get notified anytime we drop a content, and like and share this video with your friends and with your family, and let's get the work word out more and more. Thank you very much, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.